Movie start with a man named Zhang Yao, his heart full of joy as he sails across the sea, eagerly anticipating the moment he's longed for, reuniting with his beloved wife and daughter. The boat glides steadily over gentle waves until, at last, it reaches the shore. With a spring in his step, he disembarks and heads straight for his village, picturing the warm embraces and happy homecoming that await him. But when Zhang Yao arrives at his wife's restaurant, a place once bustling with life, he finds it locked, a strange and unsettling sight in broad daylight. As he stands there confused, an elderly woman who recognizes him approaches and drops a bombshell. His wife has fallen deeply into drug addiction. She reveals that the woman he loves lost her grip on reality, eventually handing over the restaurant to ruthless drug lords and ending up wandering the streets. In disbelief, Zhang Yao sets off to find his wife and daughter. When he finally comes face to face with his wife, he hardly recognizes her. Once vibrant and full of hope, she now hides in the shadows, her life ruined by drugs. Overcome with emotion, Zhang Yao breaks down, pleading with her to explain what went wrong and asking desperately about their daughter's fate. With tears in her eyes, his wife confesses that, during an ordinary day at work, some customers deliberately drugged her. This cruel act pushed her into the spiral of addiction, costing her not only her restaurant but also her dignity. The pain deepens immeasurably when Zhang Yao learns that their daughter was killed in a car accident while his wife was under the influence. In that heart-wrenching moment, his sorrow feels unbearable. As if the tragedy were not enough, Zhang Yao soon sees his wife standing alone at the edge of a bridge, as if to say goodbye forever. Rushing to her side, he begs her not to jump, promising to help her overcome her addiction and rebuild their shattered life. But in a devastating twist, she leaps off the bridge, meets a cruel end when a car strikes her, and in her final moments, laments that there is no hope for someone who has fallen into the trap of drugs. Devastated by her loss, Zhang Yao's personal tragedy unfolds against a backdrop of a nation now gripped by a surge in drug trafficking, fueled by powerful drug lords. At the same time, in a parallel and dangerous world, Heta, the trusted right-hand man of Mukun, the city's notorious drug lord, is called to a luxurious bedroom. There, a terminally ill Mukun confides in him a secret. He has discovered his long-lost child in a perilous prison, and he urgently needs that child brought to him so he can pass on his fortune and legacy. With a calm yet stoic expression, Heta accepts the task, fully aware of the risks that lie ahead. Meanwhile, chaos reigns in a prison in the Philippines, where inmates have turned the facility into a brutal fighting ring. In the midst of this turmoil, a blonde-haired inmate stands out as the most vicious of them all, fighting and killing anyone who dares challenge him, until the guards finally intervene and arrest him on the spot. As all this unfolds, a suspicious man quietly observes both the inmate and the police. Later, when the authorities isolate the blonde man and lock him in a cell, the tension mounts. At midnight, in a covert operation, the officers brutally beat the inmate until he dies. In a shocking twist, the suspicious man, who has been watching every move, steps forward to check that the blonde man is truly dead. Without hesitation, he quickly disguises himself to look exactly like the fallen inmate and slips into the ranks of the prison population. Not long after, Heta's men arrive under Mukun's orders to extract Zhang Yao from the prison. However, betrayal soon shatters any semblance of safety when these men turn on him, launching a deadly attack. Determined to survive, Zhang Yao fights back with all his might, defeating his attackers one by one. Just when two of them nearly overpower him, a sudden gunshot rings out, killing the assailants and saving his life. Looking in the direction of the shot, Zhang Yao spots Ndu, a courageous police officer arriving in a small boat. Ndu climbs aboard, tossing a bottle of water toward him, and quickly explains that those attackers were head loyalists who had planned to kill Mukun's heir because Heta was unhappy with the situation. With urgency in his voice, Ndu instructs Zhang Yao to convince Mukun that he is his long-lost son, and to gather every piece of evidence against the drug trafficking operation, aiming to put everyone behind bars once and for all. Zhang Yao bursts into Mukun's empire with a grand entrance that immediately grabs everyone's attention. In the midst of murmurs and stares, he wastes no time, charging at a man he accuses of sending hitmen after him. As if adding fuel to the fire, Heta steps in and pretends to help by shooting the accused man, plunging the scene into chaos. Just then, Mukun appears from a mezzanine, his eyes fixed on the unfolding drama. For the first time, he sees his son standing before him. Zhang Yao strides over confidently, and Mukun, wiping the blood from his face with a steady hand, tells him to rest while promising a proper welcome later that evening. After Zhang Yao leaves, Mukun quietly hands the blood-stained wipe to a nurse, instructing her to run a DNA test, and she departs without a word. That very night, Mukun hosts a lavish party to celebrate the return of his long long-lost son. The atmosphere is festive and filled with eager anticipation as guests mingle and music plays softly in the background. Midway through the celebration, the nurse arrives with the DNA results. Mukun reads the report, which, though fabricated, appears to confirm Zhang Yao's identity, and with a satisfied smile, he proudly announces to everyone that he has finally found his heir. He raises a toast to the crowd, marking the moment with both joy and a hint of mystery. Later, during a quiet family dinner, the conversation turns to the drug dealers who betrayed Mukun. With a confident air, Zhang Yao offers to handle the situation. However, Mukun hesitates, his concern for his son's safety evident in his worried eyes. After some persistence from Zhang Yao, Mukun reluctantly agrees and orders Heta to ensure his protection at all costs. The very next day, Zhang Yao sets out to confront a dangerous drug dealer who has been stealing from Mukun's empire. He enters the room of the main boss, known simply as B, and, without hesitation, shoots him in the ear, leaving the man wounded. A fierce fight soon erupts as Zhang Yao takes on everyone in the room. In the ensuing melee, he overpowers a man named Balai and drags him as a prisoner back to Mukun. When Zhang Yao presents Balai, Mukun is left stunned, frozen in disbelief at the unexpected turn of events. At that critical moment, Heta's jealousy boils over, and he points his gun at the captive Balai. Before Heta can pull the trigger, Zhang Yao swiftly aims his own gun at him. Sensing the escalating tension, Mukun steps between them, forcing both to lower their weapons. With a sly grin, Zhang Yao tells Mukun that instead of killing Balai, he'd rather keep him around as a sort of pet. Amazed by this unconventional idea, Mukun agrees and gives Zhang Yao free rein over the situation. Taking advantage of his newfound influence, Zhang Yao soon assumes control over nearly every task within Mukun's vast empire. With Balai at his side, he watches the entire operation, from drug storage to distribution and trafficking, while pretending to savor every moment. Secretly, he is busy gathering evidence of all the illegal activities, including details implicating corrupt officials. Later, in a discreet meeting with Ono, Zhang Yao hands over the carefully collected evidence. However, when Ndiyu reviews the photos and documents, he remarks that the proof isn't yet strong enough to bring everyone to justice. He then suggests stirring up a conflict in the area by leveraging Zhang Yao's trusted position with Mukun, and Zhang Yao agrees to take the risk. In another bold move, Zhang Yao confronts Commissioner Anpei at a hotel, threatening him with all the damning evidence he has gathered. Unfazed, Anpei dismisses the threat, confidently asserting that intimidation won't work on him, and that Zhang Yao can do whatever he wants. Not long after, as Anpei leaves, he immediately calls Mukun, vowing that he will not forgive Zhang Yao and ordering his arrest. Meanwhile, chaos erupts when Balai and his men storm a police station, attacking officers and causing widespread disorder, leaving many injured or worse. Amidst the confusion, Ndiyu manages to sneak in and free Zhang Yao from prison. After escaping, Ndiyu meets with Zhang Yao to deliver startling news: their plan has changed. He reveals that Mukun is on the brink of death and urges Zhang Yao to reach him immediately to uncover the secret location of his hidden fortune. Racing against time, Zhang Yao arrives to find a weakened Mukun who admits he doesn't have much time left. In his final moments, Mukun shares secrets he has kept hidden for years, including the exact location of his secret funds and the access passwords needed to retrieve them. Then, in a shocking twist, Zhang Yao coldly delivers a brutal confession. He is not truly Mukun's son. He reveals that he killed Mukun's biological son in prison in order to fabricate the evidence that would secure his plan. The weight of this betrayal proves too much for the aging Mukun, and as the truth sinks in, his heart ceases to beat. As Zhang Yao leaves the room and begins descending the stairs, a lawyer steps in and solemnly announces that Mukun is dead, declaring Zhang Yao the new heir. Before the lawyer can finish his sentence, Heta suddenly interrupts by shooting him on the spot, laughing with a raw, uncontrollable rage. "I've waited my entire life for this moment," Heta bellows, "only to have it stolen from me." In his fury, he fires wildly at his own men before aiming his gun directly at Zhang Yao. Somehow, Zhang Yao manages to escape the chaos, and at that very moment, Balai rushes in, igniting a full-blown war with Heta and his men. Soon, Zhang Yao and Ndiyu join the fight, and together they take down Heta and his allies, emerging victorious as they make their escape. After the dust settles, Zhang Yao gathers everyone around to share the final words Mukun had spoken before his death. The weight of Mukun's secrets fills the room, but the tension rises even higher when Balai, confused by his own emotions, suddenly points a gun at Zhang Yao. Turning to Ndiyu for clarity, Zhang Yao is met with a knowing smirk. In a shocking confession, Ndiyu reveals that he has been using Zhang Yao all along to exact revenge on his own uncle and to seize power. He explains that the the entire drama involving Balai as a rogue drug dealer was merely a ruse. Balai had secretly been tailing Zhang Yao, working in cahoots with him the whole time. With a cold command, NDU orders Balai to drag Zhang Yao away, while he contemplates the immense fortune that now lies within his grasp. The very next day, NDU takes the spotlight by holding a press conference. He announces that the city commissioner has been killed by a notorious drug lord and vows to end such crimes with the full support of his team. As he wraps up his passionate speech, he is promoted to commissioner, taking over his late uncle's position, and he loudly declares that he will avenge those who caused the chaos. Waste no time, and NDU dives into his new role by using the evidence Zhang Yao had gathered to track down every drug dealer. One by one, he ruthlessly eliminates the traffickers, earning the admiration of the citizens and quickly becoming a local hero. Later, he visits the secret location where Mukun had hidden his $2 million fortune. Astonished by the piles of cash before him, he begins plotting his next moves. In a further twist of events, Balai soon receives new orders from NDU. At a funeral, NDU instructs Balai to extract only Nancy and to blow up everyone else, handing him a detonator while he watches with calculated intent. No sooner does Balai leave to carry out the plan than NDU immediately calls his right-hand man, ordering him to eliminate Balai as soon as the mission is complete. Meanwhile, NDU pays a personal visit to Nancy and tells her to follow Balai the next day and do exactly as he says. Sensing the danger in the air, Nancy warns NDU to be careful as he departs from the funeral. The following day, the tension reaches its peak. Balai brings Zhang Yao to a rooftop where NDU is waiting, then hurries off to get Nancy. At the perfect moment, NDU receives a signal and presses the detonator button. At that exact time, Nancy is addressing the funeral attendees, sharing photos of the many victims of drug addiction. As she leaves, she meets Balai, who hugs her tightly, a bond forged by shared pain and loss. Unaware of the imminent danger, Nancy returns the embrace while NDU laughs maniacally as the building explodes. But his moment of triumph is short-lived when he soon realizes that he wasn't fooling everyone. He, in fact, became the one being deceived. Stepping forward with determination, Zhang Yao exposes the truth. He, Balai, and Nancy are all victims of the drug trade that NDU and his allies have long profited from. Balai lost his sister, Nancy lost her father, and Zhang Yao lost his wife and daughter, united by their shared tragedies and the thirst for vengeance. Especially after learning that NDU's uncle was responsible for killing Zhang Yao's parents, they had secretly planned their uprising against him. Enraged by their defiance, NDU laughs maniacally and orders Nancy's execution. His men open fire on both Balai and Nancy, but in a final act of defiance, Nancy detonates a hidden bomb that destroys NDU's secret cash stash. Enraged beyond measure, NDU fatally shoots Zhang Yao. However, as he gloats over his apparent victory, he notices a distant screen recording every move he makes. Panic overtakes him, and he reacts wildly, but the police arrive moments later. When NDU refuses to surrender, they open fire, and he falls into a pond, dying as his reign of terror comes to an abrupt end. In the aftermath of this violent saga, reporters, moved by the legacy of Zhang Yao, Balai, and Nancy, reach out to the families who lost loved ones to drugs and the ruthless actions of drug lords. Together, they begin to rescue and support the victims, laying the groundwork for healing in a battered community. In a touching final scene, a child from one of the grieving families picks a delicate flower and places it on a generator that Zhang Yao had once repaired. This simple act of remembrance and hope serves as a poignant reminder of the sacrifices made and the promise of a better future. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to check out our awesome movie recap videos and subscribe to our channel for more exciting updates coming soon.